So we want to take this trig function that has a power on it. We've got sine to the fourth 3x, and we want to use a half angle identity so that we can get this down to trig functions that are of the first power. So we want to get rid of that to the fourth by using these identities. Now the half angle identities, we have them, they came from when we derived half angles, but we have them solved a little differently, are right here. So we have one for sine squared x and we have one for cosine squared x. Notice they are the very same formula, but the sine has a minus and the cosine has a plus between those terms in the parentheses. So what we're going to do is we're going to express sine to the fourth 3x some way using a sine squared. And so we're going to do sine squared squared. Now we can use this formula, but the thing we have to be careful about is we don't have x here, we have 3x. So we can just modify, and if I had a 3x here, then I need 2 times it over here. So let's go ahead and replace the sine squared 3x with 1/2 times 1 minus cosine of double the angle, so that's going to be 6x, and then that whole thing is squared. So now we can take that and we can square it and see what we have. And our final goal is to express this in terms of trig functions of first power. So let's see where we are. We need to square the 1/2 and get 1/4. And then if we square the 1 minus cosine 6x, that would need to be FOILed. First times first is going to be 1. Outers and inners will give us a -2 cosine 6x. And then last times last would be a plus cosine squared 6x. So what we've done in this step is we've gotten this in terms of just cosine, and these are fine, but here we still have a power. So we're going to need to apply this formula or identity again, but this time we will use the cosine squared identity, looking the very same but with that negative sign between the two terms. So let's go ahead and do that. So now we have 1/4 and we have 1 minus 2 cosine 6x plus, and so now we're going to have 1/2 times 1 plus cosine, and it's double 2 times this angle here, so that's going to be 12x. So we now have this expressed in terms of trig functions that are just to the first power. You could multiply through and combine some like terms.